Insta? What's an Insta? Do you mean Instagram? Well, that's what she said when she heard about the all-new Hyundai Inster. Anyways, jokes apart, it may have a name similar to a social media app, but this entry-level electric SUV offers cutesy looks, a big interior and efficient driving ability. Hyundai's latest electric vehicle is a style-focused entry-level electric SUV that undercuts all its existing Ioniq range and even the Kona Electric in terms of size. This cute little SUV has a big bang inside it, and I'm gonna tell you just everything about it. So, this is Parth, and you're watching MotorNation. Based on the combustion-powered Casper, which has been seen in Korea for a few years now, the pint-sized Hyundai Inster is slightly longer, but still measures in at only 3.8 meters long. That makes it much smaller than the Venue. Competition is of course fierce at this end of EV markets, with plenty of rivals including the likes of the BYD Dolphin, GWM Aura and MG4 hatchbacks. Though the Inster is smaller than all of these, similarly sized EV rivals with styling front of mind include the Fiat 500e Mini Cooper electric hatches. Hyundai hasn't detailed the lineup, pricing or specifications of the Inster just yet. The company has, however, confirmed it will offer a higher riding cross version in addition to the standard model. Though whenever the Hyundai Inster launches locally, it will go up against stiff competition from the likes of the Chinese-made BYD Dolphin, GWM Aura and MG4 as mentioned above. All of these electric SUVs have sub $40,000 starting price. The Hyundai Inster is produced with two electric motors and battery options, starting with the standard range that has a single electric motor setup which is paired to a 42 kWh NMC lithium-ion battery and can pump out 71.1 kWh power and 147 Nm of torque. It an only standard front-wheel drive system and a range estimate of 327 km. While the long-range variant also has the similar setup, but the battery pack is a bit bigger at 49 kWh, providing a range of 370 km. The Inster will be based on the European version of the Casper with slight tweaks to the suspension setup. Acceleration is smooth and progressive from a standstill, which is nice and comfortable from a driver's perspective. There is also a sport mode, but it doesn't really make the Inster feel any faster. If you are after more, you would better look somewhere else. Just like all other Hyundai EVs, the Inster comes with adjustable regenerative braking modes that can be cycled through via the paddle shifters behind the steering wheels. This allows you to customize how much regenerative braking the car will offer before you need to apply the brakes. In its most aggressive mode, called high pedal, the Inster will offer total one pedal driving, which is personally my favorite way to drive the EV because it feels more linear. It's annoying, however, that you need to select this mode every time you drive your car. You can also tell this EV has been built for the city. It's rather quiet around the town. Inside the cabin and the suspension is supple over speed bumps. Just like a small car should be, it also feels nimble and agile while navigating city streets or tight car parks. The Mesli electric motor still has enough punch to get up to the highway speeds and maintain it. Unlike a petrol-powered Picanto, for example, which has similar amount of power, the electric Inster doesn't sound like it's having its neck wrung out when accelerating harder. Despite being pretty good on highway, there's one area the Inster doesn't succeed in, which is higher speed dynamic driving. The little city car doesn't lean a bit in the bends and doesn't really feel like it wants to be pushed. On the safety front, the Inster is pretty well fully loaded. The adaptive cruise control is fantastic at judging when to brake when a car is ahead, although it can sometimes jerks the brake on when a car cuts into your lane. As standard, there's Highway Driving 1.5, which combines adaptive cruise control and lane centering. It's pretty good for most part and takes the fatigue out of driving long distances on highways. However, the system is best suited for clearly marked highways and freeways, as it can be a little too hands-on around towns or when the bends get little sharper. Talking about the design, it's cutesy and is absolutely tiny when you walk up to it. Once it's on sale, it will be among the smallest EVs available. One of the few EV that's smaller than it is the Fiat 500e. Despite being so small, the Inster is still a pretty easy car to get in and out. This is thanks in part to the slightly raised driving position, but its ride height, wheel arch cladding and wagon-like body shape are really the only things SUV about this Korean city car. Once you're in, it feels like you're stepping into the TARDIS. Its exterior dimensions suggest the Inster will be 10C inside. Thanks to its relatively long wheelbase, Hyundai has been able to eke out as much interior space as possible. Despite all of this, it still feels cozy up front due to the narrower width, but there's still ample space for two to get comfortable. The front seats are a Fox bench with an armrest separating them. It's rather Kia EV5-like in terms of design. Both are squishy yet comfortable enough for such a small car, though they lack a bit of lateral support. As to be expected, the front seats are manually adjustable, but they slide and recline to suit people of many sizes. I wish there was a bit of adjustable lumbar support. However, as after a few hours on the road, the lower back may start to ache. Ahead of the driver is a steering wheel that will look and feel familiar if you have driven an Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. It feels soft and nice in hands and thankfully offers both tilt and telescopic adjustments. Behind the steering wheel is a digital instrument cluster that's typical Hyundai. It's a 12.25-inch unit running the company's older system, though it still has many views and a few customizable themes. But I wish there would have been more views with the digital speedometer showing. Moving across the center, there's another 10.25-inch unit, which is the touchscreen infotainment system, which is also running on Hyundai's older systems. It's not the end of the world, though, because it's easy to navigate and you won't get lost. The Inster's connected satellite navigation is excellent. Weirdly, the Inster only has wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto because it's running on the older infotainment system. Looking around the cabin, it's good to see a physical climate control unit, since physical buttons are so much easier to use than having to dive into the touchscreens here and there. Almost everywhere you look, there are harder plastic surfaces, but this to be expected in such a small vehicle at the budget end of the price spectrum. There are, however, soft panels on the side of the door armrest, which is a bizarre touch because the actual section of the armrest that your elbow touches is rock hard. Finally, coming on to the pros and cons. I love the flexible seating arrangement with the interior space that defies exterior dimensions, and it seems much more efficient than claimed before. While the disappointing things include the outdated infotainment system, and Hyundai is really keeping too much suspense with the pricing and specs of this vehicle. So, this is Park signing off, and do let me know what do you feel about this in the comments section. I hope you would have loved the video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to look into the window pane so you get to see one of our newest videos. And don't forget to subscribe to become a motorhead just like me.